morning, everybody.
Good morning.
If you're like me, you probably at one time or another have owned a house or have had to deal with the indignities of some of your repairs, such as a backed up drain. I recently had to deal with that myself. I had to call in a plumber to help me deal with the mess. I was rather surprised. This plumber came in, was very professional, and he was completely immune to the smell and the indignities. I had to ask myself, why would somebody want to become a plumber? Well, that did no good, so I asked him, why did you become a plumber? Well, his reply was a little odd, I thought. He said, well, you know, I just sort of fell into it. Sure, it pays well, but I really didn't want to do what my father did. I didn't want to go in his direction. Okay, naturally the next question, what did your father do? He said, well, I really didn't want to be one of those lawyers. So I thought that was humorous at first, but a little bit odd. And it took me a minute to figure out what was odd about it. It turns out, if you think more deeply, you realize this man did not choose what he wanted to be in terms of his goals and aspirations. He chose avoidance. He wanted to not be something. In a way, I thought that was a little bit sad. Well, at least until I got to the bill. But here I am criticizing someone else's career choices. So it behooves me to ask myself, have I made any similar mistakes? Well, it only took a few minutes of introspection to realize, yeah, I've done the same thing. I am not one of those highly paid successful people at work. I am not an athletic guy. I am not one of those guys who played football in high school. I am not one of the guys who goes out and shoots hoops at lunchtime at work. I am not a social animal. I am not a lazy man. In fact, I would say I'm kind of unattractive. In fact, you can sum up those last ones when I once told a friend, I'm the fat one. I have a huge not self. Now, I didn't realize the implications of this until I read an article by Steve Andreas, who's a master at neuro-linguistics programming and self-actualization and self-excellence. In his article, he explained the significance of having a not self. For one, when you create a not self, you get very good at categorizing and identifying other people. You understand what they do very well, then you take that and you set it aside. You create a category, a stereotype. You put them in a pigeonhole. Then you erect a wall. You create exclusion. You have a sense of yourself as being not someone else. What you don't have is your very own identity. But that goes a little bit farther. When you create this exclusion zone, you completely fail to create any core values. You don't have your own identity. You don't have a basis for judging your own behavior. And when you don't have any core values to evaluate your behavior, any behavior will do, as long as it's not theirs. Your moral compass points in any direction except one. Any behavior is possible. And you don't have what you need to evaluate what's good or bad. Furthermore, the sense of exclusion leads to jealousy. Boy, those athletic people, they really have the life, don't they? Why can't I have the life? But then jealousy turns to anger and even hatred. There's Eugene doing his 40 pull-ups into pike position. Man, I hate him. And it's all because I can't do that. But there's another problem. Sometimes you need to be like that. I certainly don't need to be like this. In fact, about 6 years ago, I was starting to drift off in that direction. I was 60 pounds lighter. I was running every day. In fact, I was running, not this casual jogging, honest to God, running. I was also lifting weights regularly. That was my chosen form of athleticism. But here's the problem. I was becoming something that I hated. So what happens? I'm right back where I was. Right back to being the fat man. So why do I bring this up? I wanted to alert you to something that might be holding you back in life. How many people here, just during my speech, have thought of something that they consider a not self? Don't raise your hands, you don't have to. Just be aware of it. And sometimes it's not that specific. You don't necessarily say, I'm not something. You might say something negative about yourself. But ask yourself, what is the opposite of that? What is it that you are avoiding? The other thought is for parents. I ask you to look at your children. Are they acting from a sense of exclusion? Are they developing at a young age a not self? Or are you helping them develop core values? Are you helping them develop a sense of personal identity, a sense of inclusion, and to avoid building those walls? Please ask yourself and see if you can do better in that area. And whatever you do, please don't let them become defective. Having contest master.